come through. So if we got anything live or anybody there?
It's in hear us.
Hey, we seem to be live. Good stuff.
Good.
We're all here. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the what are we calling it? Plastic Crack podcast or something, whatever Ken talks. You'll notice we're missing one of our compadre. The evil dwarf Lord Ken has disappeared. Rumour has it it's because of that outfit he was wearing last week, and also because we challenged everybody to be drinking whiskey this week, and he doesn't drink whiskey. He was going to get Bailey's out or something. So, but we're all armed, aren't we, guys?
Yeah, we are.
There we go. Whiskey armed, ready. So, as usual, can you let us know whether volumes are all okay and you can hear us? That would be really useful. Thank you.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Auntie Mabel?
Can you? I'm going to test my microphone. Am I okay?
Can hear you. We've got your usual lovely 10-second delay, which is a voice versus mouth movement.
I know.
Which is hilarious.
I operate on a different time zone for everyone else.
You're something like the Time Lord, I think.
Yes.
Brilliant. They can hear us on mine. One of the first comments is, "Where's the jester gone?"
Yeah, I got everyone saying 10-10 on mine as well. So good stuff. So let's say a few shout outs while we're here. We've got Lupus, hiya mate, how you doing? You're first up on the chat. GP, hiya mate. Duncan, FX, and NI Miniatures, hello mates, how you doing? Good to see you, thanks for joining us. Whiskey Brigade, yeah, we're here. Just not the ugly t-shirt brigade.
I've got Damjan, Ewan and Aaron Lowe, Warren Rabbit, Tim Bickerdike, Tom the Wargamer, Bill Roy. Hello.
Evening, chaps.
Hello,
I can say chaps because it's largely chaps.
Evening, everybody.
So as usual, we got Martin, Seventh Son, and Steve from On Point HQ, myself from Boots on the Table. No Ken, as I say, he's disappeared. We don't know where he is. I think he's just fallen down a road. Ken, as I say, he's disappeared. We don't know where he is. I think he's just fallen down a rabbit hole or something. I don't know what's going on. There you go. Hi, Culloden. How you doing, mate? So yeah, maybe he'll join us. Maybe he won't. We'll see.
Let's see.
So what have you folks been up to? What's you been up to this week?
I think Steve should.
Oh, come on, let's hear Steve's huge story. I've just posted something on his Facebook page because it made me laugh. We had a brilliant screen capture just a minute ago. So.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you froze.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes, I completed my pledge from last week.
Hey.
So, the pledge was the command section from my French line infantry had been sat on my desk for 7 months.
Wow.
So I don't know what struck me last week. I just thought I'll get them done. I honestly didn't think I'd do them. I thought I'd fanny out and just not get around and find some excuse that I could use. But I actually got them done. I actually did them. I was quite chuffed.
Well
actually.
done.
Not that drummer though. Like I said in a message last week, if I had a time machine, I'd go back and find the person that thought that uniform was appropriate, and then say it isn't. It's just not. To be fair, I even cheated when I was looking at it. The things down the arms are sort of red and yellow. I just kept them red because I just couldn't get it to work, and I hate painting yellow. And there was white. Is it just me? Right. I know you guys paint a lot of black powder era miniatures. Is there a moment of absolute sheer terror and panic when you put in any other?
Oh, we lost him.
Oh,
right.
Again.
You see, this is the trauma of doing Napoleonics for Steve. It's completely killing him. He's in that beautiful pose again. Look at him.
This is broken. I know. I'm just gonna.
Oh, jeez. While we're doing it, hi Leslie, how you doing? Yeah, he's gone off to the world of fantasy. Oh, he's gone completely now.
Oh yeah. No, Leslie's just commented on mine. He wants to know where Haley is. Haley is don't know what Hayley's doing. She's over there tidying up or something, I'm being told. Oh, okay.
She's getting ready for the fight outside, isn't she? Usually what happens.
Yeah, that's it. And then Miller says hello, hello.
Hello. Oh, yeah. It's got Lupus says he's finished 4 battalions of rifles, Prussian Napoleonic 25mm minifigs. There you go. I think Steve's just a lightweight myself. Oh, hello, Steve. You're back again.
Am I back? Cool.
Yeah, you're back. So we lost you as you were going on about the lovely lacing on the side of the arms of the drummer.
I've just seen that photograph.
That was priceless.
Yeah, that's a man broken by no, it was just that bloody stupid uniform with greens and yellows and reds. But yeah, I painted the white striped bits on, and then I had to do a bit of red, and I was genuinely terrified of putting red anywhere near any white that I'd painted.
Oh yeah, that is scary.
It was just fear. I mean, with bolt action, I don't care. There's ink and crap everywhere, and things get painted very, very quickly. Just not with these guys. But there we go. Just to prove I did it. So there's the old flag, dude.
Well done, Steve. You met your mission. You achieved your goal. And now you just got to do a whole brigade. Then you're all sorted. No problem at all.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, that was pretty much all I did last week was paint those Napoleonics. So.
And so now you've gone back to the comfort black. You've gone back to the comfort black of bolt action again now. Then.
Yes, I spent all day kit bashing today, using green stuff plenty. Rather good fun actually. But tonight I'm going to be working on more Napoleonics.
Ooh.
Because I'm just a sadist.
So tonight you get to witness the complete mental breakdown of somebody as they over the course of 2 hours.
Yeah. It's a 2-hour meltdown going to happen. That's great. I'm so looking, and with the aid of alcohol as well. Brilliant.
I know. What could go wrong? What could
possibly go wrong?
I'll be crying into the bath in about 2 hours' time. But no, that was my week. Very, very quickly done.
What about you, Martin?
I finished off the night that I was working on for the Wars of the Roses.
Oh, yeah.
So I got that unit done, and that was also my Wargamers Anonymous entry. So I got that in just before the end of August, and then Saturday, finished up another cannon.
Yeah, I saw that.
These guys here, just to add on, because they're quite. I don't know what it is about cannons. I can knock them out in about an hour. They're not hard. There's not really much to them, really.
I suppose you don't really have to put any sort of heraldry on them or anything like that. It's just fairly straightforward colours, isn't it?
Yeah, this is more about basing, and then that was really it. Tonight I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm not working on Wars of the Roses because I wanted to have a break for at least a week. So I'm working on some Ronin for Bushido. So I started last night, and I'm going to show this off. He's quite small, this guy here, but he was in that kind of classic samurai. I'm about to take the sword out and kill you in one go.
Lovely.
Sweet.
Lovely.
He's quite little. But tonight I am working just on his mates. I'll probably just be working on this one model all night. They're very, very nice models.
They are beautiful models.
But there's a lot of detail. So I'm trying to wreck them. So if I can get this one done tonight in the stream, then I'll be really happy.
Whose models are they?
They're by GCT Studios for a game called Bushido, which is a semi-fantasy feudal Japanese game. But you could use these ones. There's nothing particularly fantastical about them at all. You could use them in any sort of Japanese-themed war game. Really, they're really nice.
They do.
They're all metal as well, Dom. So you're.
Oh, perfect.
The cards are brilliant. I mean, there's this guy here who I've got to do. So this one's probably the least. So I've got 3 guys who are all Ronin swordsmen.
Yeah.
That's the whole faction. But this is the guy who follows them around, carrying all their stuff. So he's got this massive backpack and loads and loads of really nice detail to do on that. So yeah, it's just the 4 of them, and that's an entire warband. So I'm quite looking forward to painting these. So because I've already got one load for them, which is all undead, but they're all, because it's Japanese, it's based on Japanese horror. So they're all wearing masks, or you can get like the girl, looks like the girl from The Ring. There's loads of creepy kids running around, and lots of Japanese stuff like oni and different types of demons. So it's all quite fantastic. That stuff's quite creepy. It's done quite well.
That sounds fantastic. Actually, sounds fantastic. I've never, it's one of the. I was on a stream the other night, and people were talking about samurai armies, and I thought, I've never ever done any samurai figures or any kind of Japanese figures like that at all. I really want to do it one day.
I haven't. I was very, very when Test of Honor first came out.
Yeah.
We were at the Warlord Open Day, and they had a couple of games of that running, and I was literally that close to walking out with the starter box.
Yeah.
But I didn't. But even with Warlords of Erewhon by Warlord, you could just Rick Priestley's written a samurai list for that as well.
Isn't there? Yes.
So if I do ever paint any if I do ever paint any samurai or Japanese-esque figures, that'd be my first. I've never painted anything like that.
Yeah, I had Test of Honor. I bought into it and a friend came out, but I wasn't like thrilled with it. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't kind of what I wanted it to be. But I know because Warlord dropped the license, didn't they? They just didn't carry on and gone for the futsal guy, I forgot his name.
Andy Hobday
started gone for Grey Games, and they put out Andy. They've put out a second edition, which I keep on meaning to pick up, and they've got some beautiful new models. They look stunning, the stuff that they're doing at the minute, but it hasn't really been very, well, as far as I can see, it hasn't really been very well sort of put out there. I know people have picked it up on the Test of Honor page, but it's not been as sort of promoted as the first edition was. 'Cause I remember when the lead up to Warlord putting that out, it was huge.
Yeah.
It's funny with futsal, they're not quite as good at. Well, I suppose they're not the same sort of size enterprise as Warlords, but they don't make such a big thing of their games as probably they should, because they have some good games.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a problem, didn't they? Because it was with their name.
Yes, they
GW.
did. Yeah,
and
they did.
Is it because it was called? I can't remember what they were called. Was it what?
Oh God, I can't remember now.
No. War Banner.
That's right.
That was it. It was called War Banner.
Yeah.
And apparently that was too close to Warhammer. So they had to train. I know that means that some of their while they're getting waiting for packaging to be reprinted, all orders are going out without the nice cardboard sleeves on and things like that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do some lovely stuff, I have to say.
Yeah. Miller says that next month War Games Illustrated are giving away samurai miniatures, Warlord ones.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
On the front of theirs.
Interesting.
How does Miller have all this intel? He knows about so many things. It's scary.
It's got some.
It's got some inside track. We need to get him on just to sort of pummel him for his intel.
Definitely.
It's bizarre. No, I would really love to do some samurais. I really would. It'd be great fun to do it. It's but it's like everything. It's it's who your mates play and whatever people you play with regularly play, and I don't know any of them that do anything like that. So it would sort of be just a pure vanity project, and Christ knows I've got enough of those already. So yeah, don't know.
Speaking about
interesting fact. Interesting samurai related fact. I've got a replica samurai sword, and I'd cut myself within 5 minutes of getting it.
I think that's the thing. I had a replica one. I didn't cut myself, but my friend did. As soon as he went, "Is it sharp?
Is it sharp?" Love it.
Is it sharp? Followed by just sort of and some swearing.
Yeah. I thought, oh, that blade looks a bit dull because it's been in the packaging. I know what I'll do. I will clean the blade. So I've got a duster out. Literally in 5 minutes of opening the entire thing, I'd cut my finger open.
Oh, the 90s. Okay, was that the 90s by any chance? I'm just gonna.
No, this would have been 2004.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, I've had some more people have popped in. Dragons for All has popped in. Hello, Ian. That's my brother-in-law. And Oh, who else are we? Oh, bloody hell, it's already gone. But yeah, Miller. Nick Games is in, and he just said, "Where's Henry V?" We don't know.
Rumour has he's been executed. Rumour has it. It's been carried off into some other part of the country and imprisoned in something for crimes against fashion, probably.
So the fashion police wanted a quick chat with him.
Exactly right. Too bloody right.
Poor
That thing.
Ken.
Poor old Ken. We got Medieval Warrior. Hiya, mate. How you doing, Nick? You doing well?
Hey.
Hey.
Northern
NI Miniature says my Panzer Ace's flesh base cap blew off. R.I.P. I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, whatever. Leslie says he started a 15mm World War II New Zealand for Crete Army and 28mm Zouaves for French in Mexico. Wow, you do some interesting periods, Leslie. God damn.
Do you know what? I sometimes I feel so dull. That you
Why? Oh, you're German.
Just I only seem to enjoy painting bolt action miniatures or World War II with people doing these, different periods and different conflicts, and some of them I've even bloody heard of. And I think, how do people get into these things?
You know what you like, and you like what you like. So you're all good. It's all fine. Do you know? I think
Yeah.
it's interesting. I was on I can't remember whose stream it was the other night. I seem to sit on streams all the time, listening to people while I'm painting, and they were talking about various periods, and the guy on there just clearly didn't have much of a knowledge of different periods. And sometimes you just you almost take it for granted, the stuff. He was quite young, so I kind of sort of understand it. But it's funny, the sort of things you just sort of pick up over the years that other people just have never heard of. Like you say, periods that I'm kind of conscious of. I wouldn't really know what's going on, but then other people have absolutely never even heard of the war. But there are so many bizarre periods. It's extraordinary.
Have you seen Ken's message?
He said he's forgotten. Oh, for God's sake. That man is ridiculous.
I forgot.
I forgot. It's every Monday night we stream. He's been doing it since day one, and he's forgotten. Oh, for crying out loud.
I can imagine a panic sort of rush to his new computer right now.
Let's see how quickly.
No, I know what you mean about that, because I've got friends who sort of say, their first question is how's it going, or what you did. It's like, what are you doing now?
Yes.
What are you doing now? Like, last time I spoke to you, you were doing Napoleonics. What are you doing now?
Yeah.
Oh, I've just started a Yorkist army for the Wars of the Roses. Right. What are you doing next? Oh, next I've got to do. I found my Carthaginians.
Hey, well done. Well done.
I found them. They were in the box of stuff that is going on eBay. So I'm not utterly convinced that Haley hadn't put them in there.
As a cunning plan, isn't it?
Yeah, just in the hope that they would just end up, they'd arrive at the house and leave very swiftly. But they'd gone in there. So my plan is I'm gonna get some stuff blasted out in September, and then I'm basically just gonna have an Ancients October.
Right. So
what have you been doing anyway, Dom? Because I saw some pictures you.
Yeah, so I've been busy actually. To be honest, I've been cracking on with the Napoleonics that I was going to do. So the new project of the Confederacy of the Rhine Cleveberg troops. So here on, he's coming. I can hear him. He's talking to Laura. I can hear him. So yeah, I've been working my way through them, and actually, even though they're white uniforms, which is a bit of a nightmare, I've actually quite enjoyed them, and I've already knocked off one whole battalion. I've started the second one. I've done some skirmishes, and I've based sort of primed and got ready the first gun crew. So, but in a moment of complete madness, I placed a rather large order with Perry's the other day, just because I decided I'm going to do the entire brigade from 1812 that went into Russia.
Did you just sit there adding to basket?
No, the worst thing was I discovered that they have that multi-buy a French brigade offer, and I just went, click.
It's easily done.
It's so easily done. I mean, you know, and
It's easily done.
I was tempted to go metal, but I couldn't justify going metal with all that number of figures. Hey, there's the.
I completely forgot.
Oh my god! At last,
I completely forgot.
Jesus Christ!
Sorry.
Oh my
There's been
goodness!
all sorts of theories floating around in there about what's happened to you.
We thought the fashion
go on.
police had got you.
No.
Other people in here thought that you've been scared off by the whiskey.
Yeah.
No. I absolutely completely forgot I was playing a video game till like 3 minutes ago.
Brilliant.
Sorry about
I love it.
that. Did I even put a stream up? I can't even remember. I'm so sorry.
Ken is so he's so amateur. So amateur. God
this is
damn.
unprofessional. You know what I thought it was? Because I thought it was Sunday, because I haven't been to work yet.
It is fake Sunday today. That's the problem.
It is definitely fake.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Tomorrow
Leslie said a bad penny.
tomorrow.
Here he is. He's turned up. Yeah, quite right. Oh, Jesus. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. I'm now working on some buildings. I'm doing another building because I find that's easy to paint in the evenings when we're doing this. So I've got another.
Dom, the sheer amount of white, the sheer amount of white that was on those uniforms traumatized me. I'm not quite sure I'd be able to handle that.
Do you know, I seriously started that project when I had this great master plan to do this unit or do this couple of battalions of it. I thought, and you know, white was quite easy to do. I quite enjoyed doing it because it had always been something I'd run away from and didn't want to touch. And I thought, it wasn't that bad last time. I'll do it. And then I got halfway through the first company of them, and I thought, what kind of idiot were you thinking that? But actually, as once I carried on, it got a bit easier, and actually, it's not that bad, to be honest. It really wasn't that bad, and they're not, they're classic 3-foot gaming quality figures. They look fine from a distance, and I'm quite happy with them. So I've done 24 foot in one battalion, a couple of officers. What else have I got? Just looking up there because they're up on my case. Some skirmishers, and so I've just started the next battalion. So it's all good. So we're all fine. But yeah, quite pleased to get going. But it has cost me a load of money because of Perry's. So never mind. It was just
they have a lot to answer for.
They do. To be absolutely honest, it's their fault. That's all I'm going to say. Just their fault. They're lovely guys, but it's their fault. Speaking
of the Perry's website, this may shock you. I was on there on Saturday, looking at French cavalry.
Ooh,
My God!
do you want some lancers? Do you want some lancers? We've got loads.
Oh my God!
I didn't actually buy any because I know I'm going to reach a point with these Napoleonics where I'm going to crash and burn. I'm going to stop and have a 6-month break like I did last time. So I'm not buying any. I'm not buying anything because I don't want a crap load of miniatures just sat there doing nothing, especially Napoleonics, because I'm under no illusions. The chances of me ever using these to game with are like slim to nil.
So that was one of my questions I was going to ask you, Steve. You said in the chat that you don't sell any of your figures. You only, everything's kept.
No.
Is that true? Everything?
Yeah, everything.
Good grief.
You must have a lot of figures, Steve.
Yeah, considering I live in a shoebox, they're cunningly hidden away in every nook and cranny you can think of. There's normally figures somewhere.
I'm intrigued.
But no, I've never sold. I've never sold. No, I can't remember if I've ever sold any figures at all.
Even for periods like the Napoleonics that you've never done or never likely to do. I'm surprised.
No, because the only reason I have these is I picked them up in Halifax. I was there one day for an excursion out to a model shop, And I just thought, I'm going to buy something today that I've never bought before. So I ended up picking up these Perry's Napoleonics. And I got them home and just put them on the shelf and forgot about. My interest lasted about 24 seconds. But then we had the winter warmer at the start of the year.
Yeah.
The winter warmer challenge. So I decided to paint something that I'd never painted before, and I've never painted Napoleonics. But I don't know. I mean, I would really, really love to have a full Napoleonic army, but I just don't think it's ever going to come to fruition.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I can understand that. I mean, they are fiddly unless you're, really into. I say, my only reason for doing them is just to get them on the table. So the fact they're painted and that, they'll see a game at some point fairly soon, and that's what keeps me going on them. Really, that's the only reason why I'll paint them. Although I'm doing far more than I'll use for sharp practice, which is largely what we're doing at the moment. But I'd like to get to black powder with them. That would be fun. Well, that means I have to join the French side, and that's just a bit scary, even though they're not French. They're German. There you go.
So if you do that, I'll use the British, because I still have never used the British.
Ah, that sounds like a challenge. Yeah, we need to have that game, don't
Even
we?
though
I'll take the
army.
French-ish,
Yeah,
you
I
can
can
take the
do
British-ish. It'll be fine. Let's just look at some of the questions. Are you up and running there, Ken? You look completely shell-shocked, mate. Completely shell-shocked.
I am. I'm like, what is going on?
So, okay, while we're doing this, GP's question on exactly relevant to this is, at a guess, what percentage of models that you paint would you play with regularly, and what happens to the rest?
Oh.
I guess let's say regularly as in before lockdown, because that's all changed everything, hasn't it? But for most people. What about you, Martin? How many of your figures do you regularly use that you've painted?
See, I consider 4 games a year, big games a year of black powder, quite regular for black powder.
Mm-hmm.
To use everything. I've played more games of black powder in lockdown than I played in the preceding 18 months because of. I just had a "you're welcome" just from over there as well. But I don't know. Before that, I would probably say probably about 50%. I'd say, because some of my like I've got loads of stuff that I've painted that I just don't use anymore. But I've narrowed it down to the systems that I like, and I regularly play Saga and Fire and Sword and Bolt Action and a couple of other ones. So those ones I played quite a lot, and then I'll have some projects in mind. I mean, even though I've done all the Wars of the Roses, we were all geared up to start playing. Had one game, and then lockdown happened. Yeah. So we're having our next game on Saturday coming, which I'm really excited about because I've been painting it, I've been researching it, I've been going at it, and then not been able to play it because I've only got one side. So I haven't been able to sort of like even just have a game with Haley or just do a solo game. I just didn't have anything. So I reckon probably about 50%, give or take.
That's a pretty high proportion, I reckon.
Yeah.
What about you, Steve?
Even out where I've got a lot of miniatures.
Well, this will probably come as no surprise to virtually anyone. 95% of the stuff I paint bolt action.
Yeah.
And we tried to get as many games in as we could last year, and then lockdown struck, and then we've had no games since. But I'm still painting Blood Bowl teams. I'm going to be teaching me next year to play that once we're back to normality, and that's about it really. Just mainly bolt action. I don't really have any other periods that I paint for, or I certainly don't paint to play anyway. So it's going to be quite high. I'm going to say it's about 90%.
Oh my god, I feel so inadequate.
But I am an anomaly though.
I feel so inadequate to you two. I reckon probably 15% of my figures I regularly play with.
Oof.
It must be about 15%, maybe even less. Because I mean, genuinely, Ken's seen them. I have thousands of them, and he hasn't seen all the 15 mils that are all locked away. Because I've had them, I've had them 30 odd years of collecting them, so they're all sort of sitting there in boxes and what have you. that said, I think they've all been used on a very regular basis at different times. So in my garage of shame, there's boxes and boxes of 28mm medievals and Napoleonic medievals and ancients, which haven't seen the light of day for 10 years maybe. But before that, they were played with very, very regularly. And it's only the fact that, like I was saying before, we're not playing that. The people I'm playing with now aren't playing the sort of games where I need those figures. But I know at some point they'll come around again. And with Saga Age of Hannibal round the corner, certainly the ancients, the Macedonians and the Carthaginians and Numidians will all come out again because they'll be useful. And I think I'll probably the medieval set of rules that they gave out with Wargames Illustrated look quite fun, so I might recycle the medieval figures that are in the collection. So while they haven't been played with for years, just with a bit of, they'll probably need a bit of TLC because they've been in the cupboard for so long, but apart from that and rebasing probably, they're all good to go. I mean, figures don't really go off, do they? It's not like, they can look a bit dated sometimes, but if you're not bothered with that, then that's fine. I
think it's probably good though. I mean, you've got that kind of back catalogue. So if any new games or rules come out, you don't necessarily have to go out and start buying and collecting and painting an entirely new army. There's going to be a chance that you've got a collection somewhere that will fit that particular rule set.
Yeah, but of course I'm such a collector maniac that I'll just keep moving to new periods where I need to buy, like a whole brigade of German Napoleonic troops just because just can't be bothered to do anything else. So yeah, in theory, yes, you're right, Steve. And actually in practice, to be absolutely honest, we played a whole load of Hail Caesar down the club for a while, and all those all those ancients came back out and were used at various times. All the Vikings I had were used, and all the ancient Britons and what have you were reused. So they will be. Just other ones, just I don't know. Some will be used more often. I've got 20mm Second World War. I can't see me using them again for a long time. But never say never.
Sell them, Dom.
No,
sell them, Dom.
I'm not going to sell them. They're not being sold. The only figures I sell are genuinely ones that I know I will never ever play. I got rid of all the Games Workshop stuff I bought years ago, and actually got a reasonable amount of money for them. And just the odd unit. I've just sold some Parthian foot archers, which I painted up and I just didn't like them, so I sold them. And I sold something else. When I got the odd unit, I just think I don't really like that unit. I'm not going to use them. I don't like them, so I'll sell them. But that's it really. But no, I'm bad like that. What about you, Ken? You're ruthless though, aren't you? You sell everything you don't use.
Sold some last week. Sold some last week. They're getting posted off tomorrow. Just make sure everyone can hear me. Right? Can you guys hear me all right, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I sell figures all the time if I'm not using them, or I don't think I'm going to find an opponent to use them with. Yeah, they go. They are gone. There's only a couple of figures that. Yeah, there's only a few things I don't really want to sell at all, and that'll be my Lord of the Rings stuff and my historicals, because there's always somebody that I think I can play historicals with. And like you guys have said, there's so many different periods, isn't there? For that reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
I look well dodgy, Martin, what you were doing there, mate. You just see the corner of your eye like that.
The shaking the bottle.
Oh dear.
Well, on that note, someone just said, "Oh, there he is, who paid the ransom to the French."
Yeah, I forgot. I would have stuck it back on tonight, but I've just gone out. But I managed just quickly. You probably see on the stream. I managed to do all those archers, so they're all done now. And the men at arms. I've just got one archer left to paint, and then I can finish basing those. But I'm just about to start. You guys have probably done these historical horses for the cavalry. Is it best to paint them separately or with the riders? And
I paint them separate because you can just, if they're armoured, you can just spray the riders silver and just do them that way. And then
okay.
And then, funnily enough, Ken, my video last week on how to paint mounted cavalry, heavy cavalry, might be a bit of a had. If you want, I'll send you a link.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, is it the same sort of period, or do I paint archers? Because you got mounted archers.
I think
I don't know what to do.
I mean, obviously, consult Martin's video. I'm surprised, really, frankly, surprised you haven't watched it already. But I mean, I mean, most people will say that to paint cavalry, generally, you should paint the riders separately to the horses. But I have to say, sometimes I'm just a lazy bastard, and I'll just stick them on and paint them on there. But it does make it depends on the figure, to be honest, doesn't it? I mean, you know, sometimes you can get away with it, and let's be honest, there are figures, metal ones, that are stuck together, aren't they? So, yeah.
Wargamers Anonymous has just jumped in and said hello. It's the man who's responsible for me keep on buying random units to paint. Hello. I'll find something this month to do. I don't have anything that requires I have no skirmishers to paint at all. I'm gonna have to go and pick something out, and I don't really know what for.
Do some 95th rifles, mate. You'll love that.
No, I don't need any more of them, mate. No more of the little horrible green little fit so and so. No more. I was on eBay and I saw someone selling like 25 of them, and I sat there looking and going, "That's quite a good price for that." And then I just thought, I don't want them. This is going to wind me up.
Oh,
and then Sebastian Allen John says hello. Miller's just said something which he had another question actually, which is probably quite good. But here's one of his quick questions to you all. What do you want to happen to your collections when you eventually kick the bucket? Not to tempt fate or anything, though.
I want mine
sell it for a good price.
Mine will be loaded into my longboat when I'm sent off like a Viking funeral.
When you're off to Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny enough, when years and years ago, when I was doing the old serious thing of doing a will and everything, I did actually have my collection written into my will. It was going to be passed on to one of my best mates who I gamed with all the time. But as I've now got older, I'm thinking actually the idea of just having a massive, gaming session where everyone uses as many of my figures as they possibly can, and then, sort of has a ritual burning of them would be quite fun. But then I don't know. Maybe just selling them for charity. Selling them for charity might be the better and more responsible way of doing it. I don't know. We'll see. But what about you?
Mine, I want them to. See, I would have used to say I want them to go to anybody but Hayley, who will just bin them. But now that Hayley's used them a couple of times, I have a feeling that she would probably bury me and put the 95th in with me just to annoy me. So I'm not sure. I guess I'd want them to go to, I don't know, just a club or someone who's going to get some use out of them, enjoy them.
Yeah.
I know a teacher who who said, maybe he would consider doing something in when he's doing lessons, or he can actually show battles. Now I sat there saying I don't remember learning about any battles in history at all. I remember thinking we're going to learn about them, and then getting up to the point we're going to battle, and then you skip over it and go, Henry having won the Battle of Agincourt. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just someone who I just like someone who's going to get some use out of them.
Yeah, I agree. That's
hopefully my daughters. There we go.
No chance of my daughters. My eldest would probably sell them for a profit because she knows how much they're worth, because she's mercenary like that. And I don't blame her for that. It's fine. Oh dear. So what have we got in chat? Let me have a look. Like a bad penny, he turned up. Yeah, he did. You're quite right. Ewan and Aaron Lowe says hello, mate. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome to the madness. Usually we start efficiently with a whole kind of intro and everything else, but Ken couldn't be asked tonight, so it's all done. Duncan FX says, question for you.
Could have phoned me.
Oh, we sent you messages, you fool.
I was in the middle of Foy.
Oh, for God's sake. So Duncan FX says, question for you. Any manufacturers whose models you really love, but their cost puts you off from ever considering buying them? Who wants to take that one?
I mean,
yeah, go for it.
I'm a bit of a Warlord Games fanboy, so most of my miniatures are Warlord Games. I don't think maybe I've just not seen that many manufacturers, but in the historical side, so what most of us play, I don't know. I don't think there are any manufacturers where I think that their figures were in any way overpriced. I mean, it's not the sci-fi sector, really, is it? So I don't know. No, I'm going to say there isn't.
I really like comic books, and I really like Batman, right? And there's a Batman miniatures game by Night Miniatures, and the models look lovely. There are some stunning poses, and they're awesome. And even without not necessarily playing the game, I thought that's a really cool classic Batman jumping in the air with loads of bats around him would just look cool to paint. But I'm not going to pay 60 quid for it.
60 quid?
32. I think they're 32 mil. Yeah, 32 or 35 mil. And it is a very nice model. But
it bloody would have to be for that price.
Ouch.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that is it. I guess that's something I wouldn't buy. Some of the ones that have put me off, Steve says, some War Machine models have put me off.
Yeah.
Because they switched over to this plastic resin stuff that they were using, and for a 5-pack of, say, I don't know, cavalry or just large chunky models, it was close to 55 quid.
Oof.
And and then when there was only two, out of the 5, there was only 3 different poses, a leader and then 2 troopers, and the troopers, there were 2 of them were the same. I thought for 50 quid that was quite a lot. So some privateer press stuff, and then I won't say into that GW.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. When I was recently painting my War Machine stuff, I haven't looked at War Machine figures, the cost in years, and I went on various game stores, etc. And some of them I was absolutely shocked by the price. I mean, yeah, some units are 65, 75 quid for a unit of like 15. I'm like, I'm not paying that. That's absolutely insane.
But it's when you start paying for it's because I think in War Machine you're paying. GW used to do this. I think you're paying for their ability in the game rather than the price of the materials that made them.
Yeah.
So it's pay to win, isn't it? Basically, and it's a very, like I say, it's a very. We've said this before when Steve was doing builds. It's a very aggressive game. You don't need those models. They've got a massive range, but they would help you win some of the stuff.
God, yeah.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? I think it's definitely a fantasy thing as a whole that prices are a bit crazy. But you know,
Forge World.
Sorry.
That's all Forge World, mate.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say.
Yeah,
Forge World.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
But I think it's largely because those figures, or not Forge World necessarily, but the general sort of fantasy figures are designed for very small games, so they're not like a mass battle. So not, like a bolt action or a black powder or anything like that. So you're only probably buying, if you're playing role playing or Dungeons and Dragons or something, you're probably buying half a dozen figures, a dozen figures probably.
Yeah.
So if they're 5-6 quid a pop, then that's probably not going to break the banks. But for anybody really, especially if you're buying one a month or one a week or something like that, whereas if it was a regiment of 24 figures and they're each £5 a pop, that's a little bit different. So I think that makes a huge difference. But I'm with you. There's not many that I would consider that ridiculously expensive. That said, like I was saying earlier with my project, I very nearly bought all the offensive miniatures stuff, which aren't that expensive, but when you're thinking about doing 7 battalions of foot, it adds up. Whereas I could buy the a very nice Perry plastics for a fraction of the cost, which is what I ended up doing. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, probably Metal Army is probably the only thing that put that would put me off, because like you say, they are more expensive, aren't they? When you could have a plastic army for a lot cheaper price, can't you, nowadays? But you do get the uniqueness with metals, don't you? That's what I think, a nice mix of metals and plastic is definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely, for sure. That's what I've done with my 100 Years War stuff. Just a mixture. You can tell which are the metals and which are the plastic, because the metal bowmen and bows are about half the size of the plastics. But if I was Ste, I should have kit bashed them, shouldn't I, Ste?
Yeah.
Got the plastic, got the plastic arms on there, and done it that way. But,
that's the way to go. Regardless of the era, period, conflict, or what have you, kit bashing is the way forward.
Captain Kit Bash.
Someone on the same kind of line has said, how Sebastian Allen Johnson said, how much would a playable Black Powder army set you back?
How much are the boxes? The box sets?
Well,
they're about 70 quid, isn't they?
The Warlord ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the Warlord ones are now geared towards 24-man battalions, whereas if you do the Perry deal, you get packs of... how many are in that pack, Dom? 40...
So the one, it's 40. It's either 42 or 44, depending on which one you go for 20 quid.
Yeah.
So,
and then if you're doing 24-man battalions, that's nearly 2 battalions a box.
Basically, that's what I did with the one box I bought. I've got 2 battalions. 2 battalions out of it, which is pretty good, I think.
And on their deal online, it's free boxes, and you get 3 boxes, a gun, and a commander.
Yeah,
I think
that's right.
For 60 quid. So that's 6 battalions. Maybe need a couple of extras, and you can have a decent game with two brigades. I've been having games with 2 brigades.
So it's a sense of scale, isn't it? You can start small, and that's the beauty of it. I think you don't need to have a massive force. Again, I was watching somebody online playing Black Powder. I think it was quite an old video, but he was playing it on quite a small table, so he only had like 2 brigades a side, or 1 brigade on one side and 2 on the other, and it was a really good game. Didn't matter the fact it wasn't a huge army, but it was actually a really good game. So you don't need huge numbers, and you can build it up over time. You don't have to rush off and buy the whole core from Napoleon from Waterloo.
Yeah, but we all do.
Well, we all aspire to that, don't we? But but again, I mean, one of the things I always say with Napoleonics particularly is you can start small. So you can start a number of our projects with American War of Independence. We started to build armies that were big enough to fight sharp practice. So probably I don't know, 50 figures, something like that, which was perfectly manageable. And then expanded it from there into, something we could then play Black Powder with. And if you're sensible and you do it over time, it can be quite reasonable. I don't think you need to worry too much. If you made it metal, that's a different thing.
Yes, that does encroach on the rather tad of the expensive side of the historical things, doesn't it?
Can do, although I firmly believe that metal has come down proportionately in price. I don't think they're anywhere near as much as they were back when I started collecting metals. Because when I started, you could only get metals. There were no plastics apart from Airfix, which you wouldn't use.
No.
It was all metals, and it was considerably more expensive than proportionally to how it is now. I think. So I think even they've dropped in price.
It was a good thing to see, though. Manufacturers doing well, dropping prices, passing it on, and technology advancing and stuff like that, isn't it? It's like these plastics. How many I don't even know how many cavalry are in here. In this box, 12 cavalry I've got. Can't remember how much this was. 20 quid. I'm gathering that's a good deal because realistically
Yeah.
it's 24 figures, really, isn't it? Because I've got 12 horses and 12 men.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm quite happy with it, to be fair. And they're not the easiest things to, I imagine, sculpt, and they take a lot of time. But fair price, I don't mind paying it. But then at the same time, I think they sell 3 metal ones for £6.
Yeah.
Or £7, so 7, 14, 21. So if you want the same sort of price, I think it's a little bit more expensive, but they're metal. But you haven't got the options like you do on the plastic kit.
No.
That's the difference. That's the difference, isn't it? Plastic kit, you got a lot of option.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Definitely one of them.
I mean, we talked about this before, haven't we? But some people, Steve, love plastics and hate metals, and you know, some people they're quite happy just to use plastics all the time. And of course, now you got those resin now.
I don't know what.
Sorry.
I don't know what it is about the metal things, because I've got my bolt action Australians, and that is 100% metal. The whole range, and I really enjoyed that. I think that I may have just been having a special moment when I painted that lot, because after I finished that, I went back to not enjoying metal miniatures again. So I don't know. I am becoming a bit more open to them, though, I will admit.
Yeah, that's good. I will say that new resin stuff I don't like. I don't like that at all. Sorry, carry on.
It's a bit No, it's a bit flexible, isn't it? I was just saying I've got a new guy on my chat. Hello, Rastaman 2009.
Rastaman.
He's saying he's doing some Aeronautica, which is Games Workshop, and he's also talking about Epic. He can't decide what to do, but now he said he's doing 2 very old Games Workshop Marauder Bombers and 6 Rough Riders. I think that's pretty sure that's either Epic or 40k, but yeah, fair play to him. Nice to have you with us.
Welcome aboard.
Oh. Reminds me, I've got to dig that Epic army out of the going to be chucking on eBay that I was telling you about. I need to actually let you know what's in it. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's all right. You know what I'm like. I'll just buy it anyway. Can't say no. Can't say no. It's bad. Laura's yeah, go on.
Do you guys mind if because Miller sent a question during the week. I don't know if you guys saw it, and I'm actually really interested to see what you guys think.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, please, yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah, go for it.
So basically, I'll read out exactly what he said, though, because it made me laugh. And that was... hang on. I find it first. Basically...
Why is Ken so cool, and can you be more like him?
That would make us all laugh out loud, wouldn't it?
Come on, here we go.
Is this the film one?
Basically, it was if you could be the bystander in any battle throughout history and see how it was fought and actually unfolded, which would it be? So not actually taking part in the battle, but on a hill watching it. And then in brackets he put, not in some sick love of violence kind of way. So if you could go and basically just be invisible,
like God mode sort of thing, in Total War.
What battle throughout, like what battle in history, and why? I think he said it's something that gets asked in War Games Illustrated. They ask people in that. But yeah, I thought it was a really good question. So I don't know. What do you reckon?
2. Battle of Jutland.
I'm just checking because I want to make sure I get this right.
Yeah, Battle of Jutland for the First World War for the naval stuff, and also the Battle of Britain with the aircraft. If it's like a God modey sort of thing, if I could see.
Not just in a bystanding place.
If I can just float around and just see it from every point of view and jump into those 2. A land battle, that would be interesting. Maybe the Battle of the Somme.
I would love to be able to see some of Alexander the Great's battles, Ipsus or Issus or any of them really, because I'm fascinated by that period anyway. And just his ability to You know, every battle he fought, he was heavily outnumbered. I mean, absolutely extraordinarily outnumbered in men, and yet he managed to completely annihilate his enemies each time. And with some, you know, amazingly innovative tactics of their day, doing things that nobody expected him to do. I think that would be absolutely fascinating to see how he did it, because I don't think we really know truly how he did it. And I think that for me would
see
be...
these quite famous generals like Alexander or Caesar.
Yeah.
And these battles. What about you, Steve? What was your one?
I had two. I had two. The first was Rourke's Drift.
Oh yeah,
good option.
Mainly because I grew up watching Zulu, and I absolutely love that film.
I was going to say, you just watched the film, don't you?
It would just be interesting.
You don't need to have anything else.
No, it's actually be there and to see it, you know, ebbing and flowing. But the second, I was just checking because I wanted to get the name right. The Battle of Cannae.
Oh yeah.
The
Romans.
Just because I've watched it being gamed a couple of times, and I watched a documentary about it, and it was just such, from Hannibal's perspective, such a planned, set piece, executed battle that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of mine was one of Hannibal's as well.
That's a battle they still study at military college, isn't it? You know, people like West Point and Sandhurst, they still study that battle because of, like you say, Steve, the way that he planned and deployed his troops to absolutely do exactly what they did, and had exactly the effect he you know, aimed to do, which basically annihilated a larger Roman army, and literally annihilated it.
I think one of the bits that I thought is right at the beginning, and he attacks. It's kind of a preemptive assault against the Romans before they've even had breakfast.
Yeah.
So they're not in the best of moods. Then they've got to go running, pursuing the Carthaginians through an ice cold river. So you get to the other side. You're not
going to pick. That was my.
Am I getting mine mixed up here?
Yeah, I think you might be.
I'm getting my.
Trebia is the one where he goaded them across a river.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
the one.
One of mine too. And basically, the Romans went across it before Hannibal had his army well fed and rested and by nice warm fires, and he goads these Romans, like you say, across the river. So and all the sources say they're waist deep in water, and they come across and they line up on the other side, 50,000 odd provincial Romans, because they were not the best trained, because they were just one of the armies that had been left in Italy, because the other army was off in Spain, and Hannibal went over the Alps, and then he attacked them. But I don't know. My reason, because I want to see it, is because I wanted to see the look on this provincial Roman's face the first time he saw an elephant when it comes.
Now that yes, I love it.
They're freezing cold.
Yeah,
they must be like, it must be on the verge of hypothermic. Surely, you know, they're hungry, they're cold. They've been turfed out of bed. They've been harassed by Hannibal's like cavalry, and then all of a sudden it was sleet. Through the sleet, you hear this thing trumpeting. It must be the closest. Someone said before, and I can't remember where I heard it, but think about it from their point of view. It's probably the closest they came to fighting actual monsters, in their opinion.
Yeah.
You know, and because like your average Roman, like who'd been like, because at that point it wasn't. Someone might correct if I'm wrong. I don't think it wasn't as a professional army, was it? Or as much. It was mostly levy who'd been raised. I know you had the Triarii, the Principe, and the Hastati, but I think there was that lot had been freshly raised. So let's generously say that they'd maybe travelled about in Italy quite a bit. They probably might have heard of elephants, but probably thought it was all crap. And then they come charging out of the sleet at you, and you're freezing.
I mean, it must have been a bit like the First World War. You know, first time they saw tanks. So it must have been a very similar kind of feel as they come out of the smoke and the you know, pre-battle barrage and any kind of smoke that's been landed, and then a great big metal thing comes at you which you can't kill. Must have been a very similar kind of very scary feeling.
Yeah, why won't it die?
Yeah,
why won't it die?
Yeah.
No, I've got. Well, that was mine because I had trouble picking up. So Steve was on the same track as Trebia, because Hannibal was just you just want to know, like he just ran rings around them.
Yeah.
And then my other one is okay, so it's Wars of the Roses, but it's Warren Rabbit has actually said Towton, but it's not. I would like to see the Battle of Mortimer's Cross, which was pre-Towton, and that's when so 6 weeks before Richard Duke of York has been killed. So Edward, soon to be Edward IV, has inherited that title. So he's majorly pissed off.
Yeah.
His younger brother's also been killed by the Lancastrians, and Lancastrians now think they're going to have a pretty easy time of it. So they're out in Mortimer's Cross. You have Owen Tudor, Jasper Tudor, and Jay's going to kill me, but there's an Irish guy, and I can't remember his name, and I'll have to look it up. So they rock up thinking they're going to have an easy time of it, and then you have Edward of York, Earl of March, and he's in some say black armor. He's 6'4" out of the armor. To put him in the armor, he then sees 3 suns in the sky, which he uses to his advantage and tells his men that's the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, and God support us. And he's got a vendetta, and he absolutely smashed them. Like it was just wholeheartedly a massive crushing defeat. And there must have been a point when the Lancastrians saw this giant in black armor smashing his way, because he was always known for getting in the middle of it. And they just went, we've made a mistake here, lads.
Why did we do this?
We've gone messed up.
Wow.
And he didn't, and then of course after that he took the crown, and then Towton happens later where he was stuck in there. So I just think that was his he'd already won the Battle of Northampton, but with Warwick's help. Yeah. That was his big Mortimer's Cross. I thought would be just quite it's not a massive battle, but it's one that I think would just be really interesting to see this guy suddenly go, yeah, I'm in charge now, and just
I think generally any of those sort of early battles that you haven't got an awful lot of evidence, there's not much written, there's sort of written clear idea about how the battle went or what exactly happened. It'd be absolutely fascinating just to be on the sidelines to see that.
Custer's Last Stand.
Yeah, that's
about
another
Custer's
one.
Last Stand.
Yeah, similar. Yeah, similar.
Do you know what? I have a book of famous quotes, and my favourite one is Custer's. Do you guys know this one? Well, is this really famous quote that says, "There's not a force in the world that can beat the 7th Cavalry." And he gave that to a newspaper like a couple of years before or something like that.
Yeah, you might want to rethink that one, Custer. You might want to rethink that one.
I know.
Oh my God.
Some guys on here have said, so Gettysburg, someone said. Warren Rabbit said Towton. Nick Games says the Battle of Lurtzen. That's 30 Years' War. Is that when Gustavus Adolphus
Yeah, it is,
died?
I think. Yeah. That's an interesting one as well, actually. Actually, some of the English Civil War ones would be really interesting to see as well. Things like I said Edgeware, Edge Hill. It's the whiskey kicking in. Some of those would be really cool to see.
He said, 30 Years' War, and then just mayhem.
So Millock had a variation on this, which I liked. He asked the other night he said to put on the stream. So, if you could be an extra in any war film, what would it be?
Oh shit!
Do you have to like the film? Is this a judgment on our film choices?
No, I don't. I hadn't even. See how devious you are. I hadn't even thought of that. No, I don't think so. Well, if it is, I'm screwed.
It's because it's well, I don't know if it's, but that Alexander film wound me up a lot. But I really, I don't, because what you say is, it's a 3.5 hour. I think I can't remember. It was long, and I don't understand how you could take one of the, in my opinion, my humble opinion, one of the most exciting characters from history, one of these, and make it dull.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah. That said, the battles were okay.
The battles were okay, yeah. I love it that he had to put subtitles at the bottom to say where in the line they were. Macedonian centre, Macedonian front line. He got the scale right.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think.
For me, the one that would have to be would be the Battle of Waterloo, the classic Battle of Waterloo film, because I just would love to have been, because there wasn't any CGI. They used real soldiers, Russian army, I think it was,
Russian conscripts,
and they basically refought large parts of that battle using real people.
Yeah.
And the idea of, you know, there's all that, I don't know whether it's true or not, but the story that goes around from that was that they had to have multiple takes of the French cavalry charge on the squares, on the British squares, because even though the Russians knew, even the soldiers knew that nobody was going to get killed and nobody would be harmed, they wouldn't stand with all these cavalry rushing at them, and they'd all turn tail and run off. And even though it was a film and they knew nobody was going to...
There should be an amazing outtake, because that's when you have that really nice overhead shot, isn't it? That'd be amazing if there's an outtake and they're all just fleeing.
Just that would be great. Unbelievable.
What should have happened?
Yeah.
I need that. I can then cut that in with my black powder games. Although that's never going to happen. They're never going to run.
They're never going to run, no. But I thought that would be absolutely stunning to see that.
That's quite good. I'm quite stumped.
I mean, the other one I thought this
I'm
would
stumped,
be good.
actually.
Saving Private Ryan, that beach scene in the beginning of Private Ryan when they're coming ashore. That's quite a scary scene. Would be quite amazing to be an extra in. Zulu would be another one. Be quite fun to be an extra in.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'm trying to think. Possibly,
Oh, we lost him again. Oh, look, he's in mid licking paint. Get a screen grab of that one.
Print screen.
Brilliant. We're just going to keep on.
Hello, new. That's the new face now.
We could just do an amazing calendar. We could produce a wicked calendar.
Just of Steve's frozen face in various forms.
Mine would be the Last Samurai. That's quite cool.
That's a good, yeah.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I hadn't think of that. Yeah, I like that. You still?
I would probably say probably just because I think I'd probably say Kingdom of Heaven. There's the Siege of Jerusalem.
Yes. Yeah. So shame Orlando Bloom's in it.
That's one of the only films I actually like him in, and you have to watch the director's cut as well.
Oh, jeez.
Oh! Now he's angry. No,
no, not angry. But I was angry when I went to see that film.
No. Steve was angry. He was like,
am I still having problems here?
Yeah, you just froze completely.
In a particularly fetching pose.
Yeah, we've got it. Don't worry.
All right. Let me have a. I'm gonna.
Oh, here we go.
He's gone again. There he is. He's gone again.
Nick Games has put one out, maybe a tad controversial. An extra is a Roman picking his nose behind the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. I don't know if that counts as a war movie, though.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
little bit controversial
there, but yeah. Was that from Life of Brian?
It was a Monday night.
Yeah.
Brilliant. A classic film. Yeah, I don't know,
really.
really.
Really good questions. Miller's put some good stuff out.
I say we're going to have to commission him for regular questions, which I think is... Actually, for that point, I must just say, before we go any further, our regular Pete's little question of the week won't be held this week because his partner's not very well, so he's not able to join. So get well soon, Patsy. Hope you're well, because he's a friend of the channel, his old Peter.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Get well soon.
Yes, I don't know. There are a couple of cracking questions there. I like that a lot. Anything in the chat from anybody? Got any thoughts?
Does Rambo count as a war film? Because it's just being killed by Rambo would be quite cool.
Now there's a question.
Very inventive death.
Who would you like to die?
It's a very
at the hands
fictional
of?
film.
There we go. Well, if we're going to go there, can I be the one that gets chopped by Conan the Barbarian or something? That'd be quite fun.
That'd be fun, yeah. Which Conan though? That new one or the Arnie one?
Oh, it have to be the Arnie one. Got to be the classic bad acting. Come on.
Bad acting. I love that film.
It's a great film.
I taught my daughter. If you ask my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, what do you do to your enemies? She says, crush your enemies.
Good on you. Mind you, that's probably the influence of her mum, isn't it? More than anything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
You sent the 95th to go and do the job.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. Good stuff. So I'm going to see what people are saying in chat. GP says, how to get your wife into wargaming. 1, show her burrows and badgers. 2, get hooked on Dead Man's Hand. And 3, get a long list of models we now have to buy and paint. Crap. Oh, right. So it didn't work for you then, mate. You suddenly had a whole load of extra painting job. Oh, well. There's no chance my wife
Oh,
is
dear.
going to get into painting, into gaming.
No, same.
No chance.
No, same here.
Bit of history. We go to history. We went
Never
to Arundel Castle yesterday, and that was great. And she'll come and do all that kind of stuff, and we enjoy doing that. But yeah, gaming, no, not a chance. We even have a virtually divorced playing Monopoly, so the chance of playing tabletop is just no chance at all. No chance at all.
At least you know it. I'm still in denial land.
Yeah, but I'm a bit ahead of you, Ken. It's my 25th wedding anniversary on Wednesday, so I've had a long time to get used to what she's used to. So there you go.
I'm 14 years behind you now.
There we go.
It's our 8th wedding anniversary tomorrow. So, but apparently an anniversary game of Actually, I haven't tried it. Hey, Lee, your anniversary game of Black Powder? She says no. She said she would like me to mop the kitchen floor that I've been promising for 3 days.
I love it. Oh, jeez.
About to say I'll let you win.
Yeah. Well, we know the truth of that one, Martin. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Dear.
Leslie said something about show me. Hang on, what is? Leslie says, Dom, have you shown Ken your 54 mils? I don't know whether that's a sexual innuendo. I haven't got any 54 mils. I don't have any 54 mils. I mean, I've got 15 mils, 20 mils,
I can vouch for that.
28 mils. I certainly haven't got 54 mils, so I can't show that off.
That's quite possibly the worst chat-up line I've ever heard.
Hey, babe, why don't you show me your 54 mils?
I think I need a lot more whiskey before I'm going to get away with that one. Jesus Christ, no.
That's a good point. I need to jump on. What whiskey is everybody drinking apart from Ken?
To get some babies, but I forgot.
Well, I've got this high quality
It's got whiskey
stuff.
in, it's fine.
I've got this high quality stuff called Glen Orkey, blended malt whiskey, 5 years old, which was all the way from Lidl. Because Lidl do really good stuff, and actually it was very cheap, and it's quite tasty. So, yeah. Oh, we lost Steve again. Look, it's frozen again. That's a serious look. Gone. Get that one quick. That's a serious look on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hang on. There we go. I've got that one. I've got Monkey Shoulder.
Nice.
Which is another blended malt scotch, and it's far too easy to drink. My birthday was at the start of lockdown, and I got given, I think I had 3 bottles of this stuff through various people, and by May it had all gone.
Eesh.
Because it was just too. It's just too easy. You don't. It's not that I sit there chugging it, but it's very easy to have a glass.
That's what I find that generally with whiskey. I think I'll just have a small one, and I look at the glass, and it's like half a pint, and I'm thinking, oh shit, that was bad. I know, but I'll just drink that and have another one. What's yours, Steve? What's your one?
Cardew Reserve.
Oh, nice.
I'm not normally a single malt person. I'm more of a bourbon drinker.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had this for ages. I don't drink. This is the last in the bottle, and I think I've had the bottle for over 18 months. But it's a really nice. It's got a really nice peaty aniseedy taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite nice.
Mm. Many years ago, I did with my lovely wife, before the kids were around, we did a trip to Scotland and did the whiskey trail. You can do it. It's a road through the Highlands where I can't remember how many distilleries there are, but a lot of them. And she doesn't drink whiskey, and I do. And we stopped into quite a lot of them, and I was extremely drunk because they give you samples in every tour you do. And my wife was driving and didn't drink it anyway, so I had hers. And so by the end of the trip, I was completely paralytic. It was great. It was one of the best, most fun times I had. Also, we had a boot full of whiskey, which was also quite funny. But there you go.
We have a distillery near us. We got that the English whiskey company.
Oh yeah.
They're near us, but they do an afternoon thing, which is around the world in 20 whiskies or something like that. So you just pay them all your money, and then they just give you whiskey. So they give you scotch, give you Irish, and then they give you some of that Japanese stuff, which I quite like. and obviously theirs. And then when you're sozzled, they give you a discount code to go in the shop.
Oh dear.
And that's expensive.
Do you end up taking stuff away, Martin? Do you?
I haven't yet been. I was trying to convince my old man to go, but my mum is currently vetoing it. So because it's in deepest, darkest Norfolk, we've got to find someone to give us a lift there and then pick us up. So
yeah,
it's a bit of a way to go.
Is that English whiskey
something
good?
will happen.
Sorry,
I talked over Steve. Is that whiskey any good? The English?
No.
I'll be completely honest with you. The last time I had it was the night before my wedding, and I don't think I was in an adequate state to be a proper critic on it. My best man's family had a pub, and he just went behind her and just started helping himself to drinks and putting them in front of us. And then his dad, because he had a job there at the time, his dad sacked him because he basically drank all the profit. So I think it's all right. I know they've got more than one type now, so yeah, I think it's probably worth checking out.
I'll have to give it a go. This is fast becoming the whiskey show. What's going on?
Anyone?
Go on. So no, Warren Rabbits just said he's drinking PG tips because the hangovers are quite mild.
Yeah, GP says Suntory whiskey. I don't know that one either. God, I'm terrible. Back years ago when I was a student, I worked in an off license, and I used to know a lot about different whiskies and alcohols, but I don't now. Used to just drink them now.
What's everyone like doing scale wise at the minute? Is everyone on 28mm at the minute?
I'm on 32.
I'm on 54. Do you want to see it?
32, I'll pass.
Oh yeah, 32mm now, mate.
Right, okay. What are you doing?
I'm doing some samurai.
Oh, okay.
So
is that for that game, Bushido?
Yeah, it is. It's my favourite skirmish game, and it's got a really, really good combat mechanic. So, and this warband, because it's meant to be, well, it's basically 3 Ronin and their butler. That's the best way I can describe it. And they're the entire warband. So you've got 3 fighting models, and most warbands are probably about, I don't know, between 6 and 10 models. But you may be able, and this warband operates as 3 people. So they've got that typical, samurai film anime. They take everything on, and it's only played on a 2x2, so you can make some really nice, custom
boards.
Yeah. So my one is a desolate rice paddy that's been burned, and like the shrine and the statues have all been broken. So there's not loads of cover. But my one of the guys I play against, he's made this really nice temple with lots of little islands on a 2x2. So it's just lots of little islands, and then weeping willow trees to like block line of sight. Nice. And then water effects and like those lovely Japanese bridges, those things like that. So it's just check it out. It's wicked.
Nice.
Sorry,
no, that's all right. I'm still waiting for my 6mm order to come through. Looking forward to that. That'd be quite nice. Get that through.
I'm currently painting 28mm Napoleonics, hence the alcohol intake.
I've just painted a black line over this guy's forehead now for laugh.
Do you know? I think
I've painted 6 great coats and washed them so far. So yeah, a nice start.
I think
maybe
you're
that's the only way
to
paint Napoleonics for you, Steve.
He's protesting too much. Secretly, he loves it. He loves it.
The thing is, I want to be able to enjoy painting these. It's just
you can't.
I don't know. I can't.
Oh dear.
I'm putting these horses together and thinking, shit, there's a lot of horses here.
Have they got barding on them, the horses?
What?
Have they got barding, armor? Do they have other horses' armor?
No. No, they don't look like it. They look like they've got...
Oh, okay. That's...
I don't know. They've got stuff on their backs, but it doesn't look like proper armor. It's like... I would say is it cloth? And I don't know. It might be armor. Let me look on the box. What does the box say? No, they've got like looks like fabric.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right because you can just chuck some, contrast on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah, I think it is.
Peasy.
I don't think it is actually armor. No, it's not armor. It's not armor. No, not that. Oh, actually, hang on. I think on the other sprue there's bits of armor you can glue on. Which would not be great wherever they... Oh shit, what have I done with them? I'm not even drinking.
You are so disorganised tonight, Ken. Yeah, oh God. Can you imagine the evil dwarf master drunk? God damn.
Can't imagine. I feel like it needs to be witnessed. And,
Oh no, there is some clip-on armor, so I can put horses with clip-on armor. Oh dear, I might have to do that. Would they been armored though? Chainmail.
Yeah.
Late 100 years, yeah, late 100 years war, yeah. But then, do I put mounted archers or do I do knights?
Well, the mounted archers wouldn't have armor.
No.
Depends what you do.
I'm just thinking rules-wise. Nah, I'll go mounted knights. It's another unit then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So talking about rules, have you
Yeah.
have you checked out those new rules that were on the Wargames Illustrated? Was it never mind the bill hooks?
Oh, never mind the bill hooks.
Yeah. You had a look at them yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I've read them, and I'm quite
intrigued.
eager to give it a go.
Mm.
I'm very intrigued. I feel like it's going to be so the game we're going to play on Saturday will be still using Hail Caesar.
Yeah.
Because that's the system we've started with, and I'm happy. I want to. We just want to play a game and know how to play it, rather than one that we don't. And I'm interested in it. It's card activation similar to like Lardy games.
Yeah.
And muskets and tomahawks.
Yeah.
Different but similar to Hail Caesar, different ratings for commanders. So it's between 1 and 3. So a rating 1 commander is considered rubbish, and he only adds 1 dice to a combat that he's taking part in, whereas a 3-star is better.
Yeah.
So you mix all the commanders together and then you draw them out. But what's interesting in it is that you can keep... I need to double check this bit, but as I understand it, you can keep on moving your units around the battlefield until someone starts attacking.
Yeah, the manoeuvre phase goes on. That was the bit intrigued me.
You could run a unit of cavalry all the way around the battlefield behind someone.
Yeah.
But the moment an arrow is loosed or a combat, that's when you start going into the
tactical
activation.
Stuff. Yeah.
Which I'm really intrigued by, because when I'm reading it, I can't see how it's going to work. But from what I've been reading, everyone says it does. So I'm really intrigued to see how that plays.
It's funny you say that. That was exactly the bit got me excited. That really, I thought that's really interesting. I've never seen that mechanism before, where you just keep going, because it's literally you take turns, don't you, doing moves until
I move, you move, I move, you move. Yeah.
So as you say, but you could move the same unit over and over and over again if you wanted to, up until the point where.
Or you could slowly bring your line forward. You could. Yeah.
So you could grab a ford or something with a group of archers or something, and then bring your line up slowly behind it. But the moment your enemy approaches and fires an arrow at you, that's it. Then it goes into normal moves. Yeah. I think it's intriguing.
But it's a little bit like with Steve was talking about Hannibal. You can go forward with your unit, your cavalry, ride right up to the Romans, or in this case, whatever, the Lancastrians. And you can freely do that, and then they attack you, and then you go into this activation, and then sort all that out, and then you go into the next turn, and so on. So it looks good. It's yeah, it's large skirmish, so about 100 figures aside.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got enough for it. I mean, mine are all multi-based, so it does require. I'll have to keep track of wounds, but I don't mind doing that because I do that anyway. Yeah, it's something I'm interested to give it a go. Considering it's a free rule set as well, I think that's bloody good because I bought rule sets that are not as well put together and well play tested as that seems to have been.
No, I agree.
So yeah, I think it'll be worth a check. And I can already see on the Facebook group that there are some people who are making or I think they're planning on modding it for 100 Years War or for earlier and other things. You know. All you like have to do is just add some cards. That's it. All you got to do is just make some event cards for your period. So in that Wars of the Roses one, there's a lot of treachery. It's like, oh, just take command of this unit, and they attack, you know, someone of your choice rather than that. So if you wanted to do something for the Romans or 100 Years War, you know, you could say, I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be very simple to do.
Forms,
I have to say, I've printed them out and laminated them ready to. I'm going to have a go. I think we're going to have a go on them Tuesday, hopefully. Because I was like you, I was fascinated by them, and they sort of got me when they were describing them as being inspired by Sharp Practice and Muskets and Tomahawks. I thought, well, there's two of my favourite systems at the moment. That had me hooked straight away. So I'm going to give them a go and see what they're like, because they could be quite good. Some of the special events are quite fun. And as you say, I don't think it would take a huge amount to adapt these to any period, really. But I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued by them. Yeah, interesting.
You could just like Martin says, you can just make up some house rules, can't you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
just
definitely.
If you want to do different bits and bobs, just to add them to different periods, but then you could also, in the group, you could also let people know what your house rules are, because it gives other people chances to use them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Other people might be looking to do that sort of thing. So.
Well, it's got another one of those quite active Facebook communities already, so I imagine there'll be new variants of rules and things going up from them over the next few weeks and months as people start to play it. Probably starting with other periods of the medieval period and then moving on out. So I think it could be really interesting. Apparently, Leslie says Crossfire works in a similar way with that activation system. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I was going to say that Crossfire works. I've never played it, and I wanted to pick up a copy of the rules, but the cheapest I could find them was £30 on eBay because they're out of print at the moment.
Wow, really?
But Lloyd from Lindy Beige, he's the big Crossfire player. And he's got a lot of videos on his website explaining how the rules mechanics. And it literally is, you move and move and move until you encounter enemy troops, so a shot at. It looks a really good system, and there's no measuring tapes in Crossfire either. There's no measurements. It's just dice and movement. That's it.
Wow! So you just pick up your figures and move them. How extraordinary!
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Martin's had a little bit. We found his limits.
I don't like to say I'm like, you know, I don't count every inch and every half centimetre, but that I might start twitching a bit. I don't know.
We found Martin's limits.
Base in vehicles.
Love it.
It's your base in vehicles, mate. Hey, now I feel.
Do you know what? I've never based any vehicles apart from flyers, but having seen what Ste done, I'm actually giving serious considerations going back to my Shermans and basing them all.
Oh dear. So what else we got? So I haven't talked to anyone in
Can you look disgusted then?
Sorry, Martin. Carry on.
We all know my feelings on it.
I know he went all quiet. I feel like soon we're going to tip him over the edge.
What? Tip him over the edge so he goes and buys some stupid jumper or something like that? That would never happen, would it?
But someone else is meant to be having a jumper. Is it not arrived yet? I wonder.
Yeah. Well, it might be that jumper apparently hasn't been dispatched.
Oh, okay.
and an email got sent about said jumper, and there hasn't been a reply yet.
Oh, okay.
Tactical. I love it.
Got Gotta love the Chinese. Oh dear.
So King Matt's here. He's been doing, like I say,
Evening,
I've
Matt.
been watching his streams. He's been doing a load of streams, so they've been a laugh to watch. And Warren Rabbit says Cavalier Booksell Crossfire. That's where he got his.
There you go, Steve.
And Miller has just walked in and said, "Has Dom asked my questions about the movie extras yet?" Yes, and it's stumped.
That got them all, Miller. It got them all. Yeah.
Yeah, we've just been saying if you're still here, you've had some really good questions, and
we're going to commission you. Can you talk to our agent Ken, because he'll sort out the money for you. It's all fine.
Fine. How do you take it? Plastic, resin, metal.
54 mil models, mate.
Yeah, Napoleonic, medieval. What's the
currency? Yeah.
Who else I got? Paul Richardson's in the house. How are you, mate? How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah.
John Crome said he's painting 28mm French General. Oh my God, I can't say that. Delone, including a tiger skin Charabay. Oh my God, tiger skin. That's going to be a nightmare. David Baker says Vimini Ridge. I don't know whether that's one you'd like to have seen. I guess there wasn't a film of Vimini Ridge, was there? I don't think so. It's been in films, but I don't know. So it must be from a battle that you could witness. Yeah, all right. I also got a question from Leslie. So this is kind of a bit weird thing because there aren't really any conventions or competitions or anything like that happening at the moment. But he said, what's our views on clutter on display on participation games at shows? I guess he means all sort of all the bits and bobs around the games, like the dice and the rule books and all that kind of stuff. Does that get your goat, or you don't care?
I like to have as much as possible, have it clear of clutter. So if it's at a show, I guess most of the time I see that there's a table or an area at the end. What annoys me is when I'll be going along to see, and you've got to say. So I remember seeing the Battle of Lurtzen actually, and that was at Warlord HQ on one of their open days, and it looked wicked. But what wound me up is that there were loads of laminates like on the battlefield over the scene, over the fields and that, and they weren't even playing yet. They just set it up, and it was just like a display at that point, and that just really irritated me. It just annoyed me because I wanted to take a photo of it, and part of me really wanted to just lift it up. But I thought, obviously, if I touch that laminate, someone's gonna like smack me one.
Yeah. I get that entirely. I don't know.
When we played Bolt Action, we have a separate table at the end of the table where we roll dice. We have rule books, cup to cup. We don't allow anything on the table that shouldn't be there. The figures and the terrain are there. We don't roll dice on the table. We don't put rule books down the table. Everything's got to be done on this little table.
Ooh, that's extreme. I like it. What about you, Ken?
Found something Steve doesn't like.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't like clutter. I like things to be ordered and in place. And if anyone so much as puts a can of Coke or a drink on a gaming surface, I can't relax until it's gone because I know someone's going to knock it over.
How to annoy Steve.
I've had many games. We had a board game once, and a Jaeger bomb got dropped all over my board game, and I never played that game again because it just made me angry every time we got it out the box. So it's never been played, and it was a complete accident. It did happen, but it just infuriated.
Did Haley drop the Jaeger bomb?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's a complete accident. You went straight to the defence. That's why
we're having our 8th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Because it was an accident.
It was an accident. Yes, dear, it was an accident. I know.
Yes, you were not to blame, even though you dropped it over it. Definitely not.
Thing that used to get my goat, it was more X-Wing tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an unwritten rule that you do not touch your opponent's ships unless you ask them to help you with a maneuver or something.
Yeah.
But in a couple of games, I came across people who, like, when a ship died, would hand me my own ship because it had been killed. It's like, no, you don't do that. You don't touch my ship. You don't touch my dice. I'm coming across as the right proper psychopath tonight, honestly.
Yeah, must be the whiskey, mate.
Right, for a change.
Love it.
But no, I think that was just that's just tournament etiquette. You don't touch other people's figures.
Isn't that just etiquette anyway? I'd never pick up someone's
Yes.
figure asking if it's okay. Especially because I'd always try and pick it, if I ever did, you pick it up by the base. It always winds me up when someone grabs the model and then lifts it up like that. And
And another thing that's annoyed him.
I'm feeling very normal
That's great.
these days. I love it. I don't.
Yeah, so am I. It don't bother me. We were playing the other night, weren't we? Done with it all on the table.
Do you know, I'm different. So if it's a friendly evening game with your mates or down the club, I'm not so bothered about any of that. The dice on the table, bits of paper on the table. I'd rather it wasn't because it does look better, but I'm not going to get really arsy about it. But at a show or a competition, I can sort of understand that.
Yeah.
And I tell you, but what does really bug me at shows is people not talking to you when they're putting on a demonstration game or something. And you have all these groups of big blokes, generally big blokes, crowded around the table playing a game at a show, and you're genuinely interested and you want to know what they're doing or what systems they're playing, whatever they're doing, and nobody pays you the blinded bit of attention and they're just playing their game. And I think, you're here because you're demoing a game. For fuck's sake, demo it. Talk to us, tell us what you're doing, and that's the whole point. If you wanted to do if you just wanted to play the game with your mates, then do that down your club on a whatever night it is. That annoys me. Again, my one experience of doing a demonstration or participation game at Salute years and years and years ago, we spent the entire day just talking and going backwards and forwards and helping people out, explaining the history of the battle and what the figures were, and that was the whole point of it. Otherwise, why are you doing it? So it does annoy me. It really annoys me.
Well, you want to get people into it, isn't it? You want to get people into the game and be inclusive, not exclusive. That's the point.
Yeah. Bimini was the World War I Canadian battles. Yeah, I know the battle. I just didn't know what he was referring to about Bimini. Anyway, sorry. That was all. Sorry, Leslie.
Miller has asked a question, but it's about whiskey. It says, have any of us tried Highland Park 12-year Viking Honor? Highly recommend.
Oh no.
If not, just got the bottle. If not, get the bottle. If nothing else, I've seen it. It's the one with the axe on it, and it's got like all the nice sort of patterns. I have seen it, and I was just going to buy it just for that. So I like that, surely. And then King Matt's basically just agreeing with him. So there's a lot of whiskey chats. That's good.
Whiskey chats moved on. Good. We like that. Good stuff. Need a bit of decent whiskey. So apparently Delone was a Hussar general, had a prolific career fighting with LaSalle on the Danube campaigns. He ended up in Spain, was captured in 1810, imprisoned and died. There's who is it? The historic is it Napoleonic wargamer who does all those profiles on different generals from the Napoleonic Wars? I love all that. Those generals from the Napoleonic period are absolutely fascinating. There's so many characters in there. I love it. It's a bit like Nick's been doing them as well, hasn't he? On Medieval Warrior, of some of the starting to do some of the personalities from the medieval period. It's great.
It's quite interesting because I think people think because it's medieval you can't find that much out, but when you actually research a lot of it, especially on the Lords, there's a lot of it is known, and most of them came to really sticky ends.
Yeah.
So you can find out some quite cool. So it's like when I was looking up about the guys I just did, and I painted up basically this unit as two guys who got killed
They were fascinating characters. I
effectively
like them.
in their nightshirts. Yeah, in their nightshirts. They didn't get. I could see that as a scene in the film. Someone running out in just a nightshirt out of a tent with a poleaxe, and then just getting taken out by an arrow or an axe or something before they even get a chance to do anything. Yeah, I felt a bit bad for them actually. To be honest, it's like, oh, they could have at least got a fight. And I know my the guy I'm playing against now is made a model for Clifford for the guy who did kill them in their sleep.
Well, you'd have to, wouldn't you? You'd have to.
Yeah.
I told you though. I said in your comment in the comments in your video. I think you've cursed that unit. Yeah. They are doomed. They are absolutely doomed.
Yeah. Well, at least it'll be historic. If you want to, then at least people can't complain. They're not historically accurate. They're just gonna get annihilated.
No, that's it.
No, there is quite a lot of good information out there. You just got to just mine it a little bit out of the internet.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with the 100 Years' War and that. I was realizing, if you're rich and wealthy, you're more likely to try and be captured, weren't you? Because ransom. It was all about ransom, wasn't it? Money, money, money. And it's like, any lords out there, lads, you got to capture them because you got to make me rich, you bastards.
Yeah.
Every quote at the start of a battle is like that.
But that's the problem you see with the War of the Roses, because you see that's what had been established, right? So, lords could be expected. They just put their hands in the air and then we're
yield.
However, because the Wars of the Roses became such a grudge match that it started at St Albans, Somerset surrendered, thinking, "Yep, brilliant, I'm going to be," and then they just hacked his head off. And then it just became a thing of just. I think it was something. I read one article. I think it was 75% of the nobility were either executed or died in battle in a 30-year period.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference in 100 Years' War and the War of the Roses, isn't it?
It became a really personal, and that's why I like the War of the Roses. It becomes a really personal, horrible little war. With all these little feuds.
That's what makes it fun,
it's quite interesting as well. Yeah, it's interesting as well in hearing about the ransoms, because you'll find in battles that lords know each other and they're like, "Oh yeah, he had me ransomed for 5 years, so if you can capture him and things like that, he'll be happy and all that." And they like make little things. Some lords would say if they captured each other, they wouldn't ransom each other off; they would just let each other go without payment. It's just crazy, isn't it?
It's that idea of chivalry as well, isn't it?
Yeah, gentlemen.
And that just went out the window in later wars.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Well, it was also a way for the common man to make money, wasn't it? Oh God, you can't do that. For God's sake, not to the French.
That's what I mean. They were chivalrous to the French, Dom. I don't know.
Sorry, Leslie. No, you can't do that. I think that whole period. I mean, that whole thing about that. I mean, the ransom. It was a way of for the common man as well to make money, wasn't it? I mean, if even just to capture arms or armor or a horse from a knight would have been just more money than they probably ever earned in their life in a normal and they just get it in one battle. But then the next battle they could end up on the wrong side and that's it. They're finished because. Unlike the lords, they
got no ransom.
No, they were just executed or taken on the other side.
Bill Roy's quietly just said not at Agincourt. That's quite true.
Yeah,
that got really dirty.
Yeah,
true.
It
did.
Well, that was
French. And the other thing, well, French court archers, you weren't living.
No,
that's no. The French court and English archer, you weren't going to be alive. So that was. That's pretty much the case, but nice way to earn money. I watched this program
the other night, and it was about aftermath of Waterloo.
Oh yeah.
It said in the hours afterwards, all you could hear was the clink of pliers of people going around removing teeth.
Yeah.
Rings, yeah.
The gold teeth out there.
Yeah.
I haven't even had my dinner yet.
Oh my goodness.
So I was completely caught off guard. I can't believe it's Monday.
Can't believe it's Monday.
What's going on down here?
Paul says we have
just
folding
said-
tables
Oh,
with
sorry.
dice trays, drinks trays, and room for the rules. Also folding directors' chairs, all the mod cons. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And John Crome says you've put on a game display. Surely it's common courtesy to explain to anyone interested what's going on. You would think so, mate. You would think so.
Yeah.
You would think so. Sorry, yeah, cut you off, Martin.
No, that's all right. No, sorry. So sometimes King. Hang on a second. Miller just said, "Does any of us know if we're doing the War Gamers Anonymous for September and what we're doing?" I think we might have already said. I will have to order something.
September,
Skirmishers
what
for
is
me.
it this month?
It's skirmishers or scouts, I think, is the thing.
Yeah. Well,
I've not done one of the. I've not done one of these challenges. So how does it work?
If you go on the Discord server, if you go to Wargamers Anonymous YouTube channel, there's a link to a Discord server, or I'll just send it to you.
I'm on it, ain't I? I saw you on it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on it. So just go to the monthly challenge tab, and then there's a vote, and you basically put an emoji next to the subject. They vote for it at the start of every month, and then whichever has the most votes, that's the subject for you to complete something by the next month, and either submit it or do a video or something like that on. And I did artillery because I had that War of the Roses cannon just sitting there, but I think it's been a runaway.
Funny enough, I did artillery too, and it's runaway on skirmishers or scouts. And last month I did something else, and it was a runaway on cavalry. And it's like, oh bloody hell! Whatever I choose, it seems to go completely opposite.
I was really surprised that cavalry wasn't the very, very last thing. I was sitting there thinking there's a lot of sick people in the world that
yeah,
They're like cavalry.
but yeah,
I like how they act in game. They're just annoying to paint.
They are annoying to paint. You're right. Now I'm doing some skirmishers for
find out.
my not French army. That's what I'll be doing.
Dom, you will do a French army.
No, they're not
It
French.
will happen.
No,
No, but you will.
do you know the only French army I'm tempted to do at the moment is I was thinking about doing a free French army for bolt action, just because it just appealed to me.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
But since not many of my gaming buddies play bolt action that often, and I've already got a whole load of bolt action armies and a couple more waiting to be done, I probably won't get around to that for some considerable length of time. But I did quite like the idea of it. I just thought it'd be quite interesting to model. I can't remember which book has the army in, but it's one of them does. Oh dear.
Bolt action next. Oh no, we've got ACW to play next, haven't we?
Is it ACW we're doing this time? Good stuff. All right, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
I played in ACW with my mate Jonathan last week. 15 mil. We played.
That's what we were going to do. Black Powder Rules.
Thompson Creek or something. No, Wilson Creek. It's from the Black Powder book, and it was great to play it again. Really good fun. It's a good system for ACW. Definitely is.
Excellente. We shall. I was going to say to you, guess what? I start on call this Friday, so if you could do any day during the week apart from Friday, let me know. But if you can't, don't worry.
It's going to be tough this week for me, mate, because it's already Monday.
No, that's
fine. It's my wedding anniversary on Wednesday, and Thursday I have to work.
Everyone gets.
So.
No.
She won't mind, will she? If Ken comes around,
I'm sure she won't mind. I'll have a word with her. She could, I'm sure she'll understand, won't she? Women are always so understanding about things like that.
He's on call.
Yeah,
he's on
he
call.
can't come any other night, I'm sure she'll be fine. Yeah. No problem, mate. See you at 6, all right?
Yeah.
I'll have my bags packed because I'll be divorced by then.
I've convinced Laura, Martin. Laura's like, you can take the car.
Oh, cool. Well, yeah, we just sort the day. I was chatting to Hayley about that, so yeah, she's all cool. So yeah, we'll just sort out the day. Maybe
did you get my other message about during the week?
Yeah. That's fine because I'm actually off that week as well, and Hayley is as well. Just in case you need some, tactical advice from General over there.
Oh, yeah.
She said she'll be decorating while we play war games, but yeah.
Sounds great. Pizza.
Dear, oh dear.
Oh dear, but yeah, we'll sort something out.
Definitely. Miller says Dom only does the French when they're the goodies.
French are never the goodies. You're quite right. Yeah, that's very true. I think it might actually be something in that. To be fair, no, but I wouldn't do them in the. I don't know. Would I do them? I don't know. It's hard. You can't do French, can you? I mean, you know.
Would you do the Normans though? Would you do like the Normans?
Well, they're Vikings, really, aren't they?
They're Vikings, yeah.
Yeah, so I can rationalise that one. They're Vikings. That's fine. I can do them. That's no problem. In fact, that's a period I would love to do. Is the Normans in Sicily? I think that would be fascinating. That whole sort of mercenary band activity they did, where they sort of went down there as mercenaries and then basically said, "Oh, well, we'll just take this country off you." I think it's absolutely fascinating, and I'd love to do some. That would be a period, be really interesting to fight. Never done it. One day. Maybe.
Oh, speaking of bolt action, with the new Pacific campaign book coming out next month.
Yeah.
I read one of the new editions in there, and it's like they just looked into my brain and did it just for me.
What's that then, Steve?
You can now include flamethrowers in regular standard infantry units.
Oh,
that's pretty devastating.
No, nasty.
That's pretty good for the Americans. I wonder how many tournaments would ban that list.
Well, you think about it, you can take flamethrowers as a standard standalone option. You can take 2 in some selectors. You can put them into a veteran engineer squad. Now you can stick them in regular infantry squads as well. That's just going to be. I have no words for how happy I was when I heard that.
I smell cheese.
Your mate was I bet you were like, knee mortars, what are they?
Oh, yes.
Don't worry about knee mortars.
Yeah, taste my flames.
I mean, has anyone used flamethrowers in bolt action?
Yeah.
Yes.
They are great fun.
I mean, they're difficult to use to get into position because they've only got a range of 6 inches. So to try to get them into, I mean, if they're alive when they're still there, but when they hit, I mean, it can end games. It really can end games.
It did. It tore Liam's soul out of his heart.
If you can get them off, then that's, they're amazing. But I always find that my opponent zeroes in on wherever my flamethrower team is and makes sure it dies. He will go out of his way. They'll be like, I've just got the Paras. I've just got this little flamethrower team working its way around, just trying to do something. And there'll be a tank just on its way to just try and sort them out.
Yeah, I think the last bolt action game I played a Stalingrad type game, and my opponent went all out for his elite veterans, and he charged them up the road, debussed them just to take out my flamethrower, and managed to throw the worst set of dice rolls you'll ever throw in your life, missed it entirely. And then my return fire just took out the entire squad in one go. It's like, yeah. Burn, baby.
Flamethrower is a great.
It's like that one I said
as well.
I did one I said the other week when I was playing against your mates Japanese, and I put a flamethrower on each flank, slowly worked my way down, and then used them both one after the other, and they both hit, and they both took out the squad. The squad they hit both failed morale checks and ran off, and 2 flanks collapsed in two goes of shooting. It was
he loved you.
It was a thing of beauty.
I bet he loved you.
No, he wasn't too happy actually. Nah.
Funny that.
But
it's weird though,
because
because
always the one that you have to be a real friend to play with, because if you're not, then the guy's gonna fucking hate you and never play you again.
That's just completely reminded me of so the hatred of a night. This is vaguely relevant, but the 95th. We were teaching some guys play Black Powder a few weeks ago, and so we did like a 2-brigade introductory game with my mate, and the opponent snuck the 95th round. As they do, sneaky, horrible green jacket, do their thing, come around the outside, and they sat there just shooting the cannons in the back. So because I was controlling one brigade, this guy was controlling the other, and what he did was he basically rolled his whole battery forward so that they were facing the 95th. So there was 2 or 3 cannons, and then the 95th were just standing in front of a wall. So he fired with canister because he was at close range. So he only needed 3s to hit on, I think it was 6 dice, and he missed every single shot. He rolled 6 1s or 2s. The guys we were playing about had to take a break because they were laughing so much. Like, they did. I don't think they missed it, but they had to go for a little. Like, they had to go for a little walk around the room. That's why I don't like them.
I love it.
They don't even have to be in cover.
I'm gonna have to play the French when I come up, Martin. I think.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I think, what are you going to do? Are you going to do the French and annoy Dom, or are you going to do the British and annoy you? The 95th?
I don't know. Well, hopefully we can do quite a lot of the day, so hopefully we can swap about. Maybe that'd be quite cool. But no, I'm looking forward. Yeah. I am looking forward to it.
Bring some World War II stuff with you, and if we have time, we can try out that the little game.
Oh yeah, tell me what I need to make a list. Because I could make it. I could use my home guard models, my dad's army guys. There's only about 8 of them.
Yeah, you could do. I've got like 10 basic. You only need like, I don't know, 10 up to 10 normal guys, and then like a couple of weapons teams. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, it's gonna be great. That's in 2 weeks' time or so, isn't it?
I know, it's not actually that long. I better book the time. Well, not really. Ooh.
So,
You're the boss.
Yeah, I know. I just need to tell people that I won't be there, or it'll be just answering calls. But just.
Oh, I've painted all my horses. No, painted? Oh, I wish I painted them. I've made all my horses. How many horses do a unit anyway?
I do 12. But
12's
that's
worth
just
it
nice.
well.
No, because if you're playing Hail Caesar, which
Yeah.
is what I do, I can then I either say 6 bases of 2 is a standard unit, or I can split that into 2 units of 3 bases for 2 small units.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
Dom, what do you reckon? Do you reckon he should be British or French?
Oh, he's definitely a Frenchman.
Is he
Definitely. Definitely.
I'll have to do some research.
PP Le
What sort of?
What is the question? Do you want the old guard, or do you want
Yes.
the 95th Rifles? That's the
the old guard.
That's the trade-off.
Yeah, so he's an old guard man.
That's
He's an old grognard or whatever they're called. Yeah, he's definitely that. I think.
Yeah.
Veteran. I like the old veterans, and you know.
Yeah.
But the 95th Rifles I love because of Sharp, obviously, and I love the British stuff. But you know, I've watched a lot of documentaries on the old guard, and it'd be quite cool to actually play them in your old guard minis. Because I think I'm going to go French for my Napoleonics, because obviously Dom's got a lot of British. It makes sense if I went French.
I've got British as well, so
yeah, exactly. It would make sense if I
It's
went
okay,
French.
Ken.
Who else
Somebody has to, you know. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Who else could go? What else could I do apart
You
from
do
French?
Prussians,
Like,
Prussians or Russians.
they fought with the French and against them. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Ken,
So
you'll really enjoy painting the French drummers. Believe me, they're absolutely fantastic.
And there's also, am I right in saying, you know, I've seen a lot of black powder miniatures, and you've got dress uniform, and then you've got grey coats, haven't you?
Yeah.
Am I right? Okay, so grey coats I gather are a bit easier to paint than dress uniform.
Just a bit. Just a bit. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
This is what I've been painting tonight.
And the miniatures.
Great
then,
coats.
Oh god. If you go dress uniform, then you have to buy a different? I gather they're different sets, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean Perry mix them, don't they?
Yeah, the Perry French
Yes.
late
half
infantry
in
have
grey
both.
coats,
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and you can.
Yeah. So that's another thing. You've got late and early, haven't you? So there's two
do.
different.
Well, it's Peninsula or 100 days, but I've just done 100 days. I'd never. I don't think anyone's ever going to care if you're using 100 days models in Peninsula War. Or the only thing that changed, someone's going to hang me now, but basically, the only thing that changes as far as the British are concerned, I think, is the colour of their trousers and the type of shako that they're wearing.
They have. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Right.
You know, and then for the French, I've done the Italians. I mean, all my French are done up as 100 days, but I wanted to paint some Italians who weren't really in the 100 days, as far as I'm aware.
Nope.
So, but I wanted to paint Italians, so I'll use them together.
After I've done these horses, that's what's next. Is the start of my French Napoleonics.
Oh,
Prussian.
there you go. People have chimed in. Austrian. You can do
Austrians,
Austrians. Victrix make a massive Austrian set. That's a lot of white and cream.
Yes.
Oh God,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
But
That's right.
Leon's done Austrians, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
T66. He's done some wicked one.
But we got the best white ever, mate.
Oh yeah. Don't even talk to me about that because that's when my airbrush broke.
No.
This one you mean? This stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I raged. My airbrush basically just died, and I nearly threw it out the window.
It wasn't the paint's fault. It's not the ink's fault, is it?
No, I know. It's the nozzle's cracked, and I need a new one anyway. It's just not very.
Have you looked at the one I sent you? That's Sparmax.
Yeah, no, I don't. That one is that's on the list. So I just need to just make sure the hobby fund is adequately stocked.
Do you know, Ken, the one you should do, Napoleonics, you should play. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it. Because you're a dwarf evil overlord, the nation that's most similar to dwarves is the Russians.
French. Oh, the Russians. I was going to say Napoleon.
I thought you was going to say Napoleon. Then I was thinking this is getting a bit.
Yeah, I thought Napoleon was going to be next.
As if I was going to be that low.
Austrians, Nassau in green, Swiss in red, and then Leslie says Bavarians in blue. There is a lot of choices.
There's a lot of choices.
So if you've got so if I went French, I'm gathering it's mostly blue. But did they have regiments that had different colours and stuff like that? Apart from blue?
Yeah, Swiss were red.
So you could use the Swiss with them, yeah? Is that right? Were they like conscripts in their army? Because I don't know about the Napoleonic period. Can I say? So if I was doing a French force, could I use them as like in the force? That's what I mean.
Ken, the ones I'm painting up now in the painting guide that comes with it, it gives you either the French option and the Swiss option as well. That's in the Perry's infantry box.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we just lost the internet.
Oh dear.
No, you're right.
You're still there. You're still there, mate.
You don't mind.
Oh, he's frozen. He thinks he's dead, but he's not.
No, he thinks we're not there.
Oh, he's gone. He has gone. He's lost his internet.
Oh, he has gone.
Yeah. He had a premonition of that. Well, we're almost at 10 o'clock anyway. Well, we are at 10 o'clock anyway, so. But
yeah, we are. Yeah.
Oh, he's back. He's going back. He's back. I would. I mean, yeah. Your French is. I tell you, I haven't got it, I'll send you a picture of it. But because it's downstairs. But the Perry box set that you get. They give you all that wonderful artwork of all the different uniforms you can use, and in that is literally all the different varieties of French you could do. And you got the Spanish. You got
the new one.
Yeah. I mean, I was. Just
hang on, I've got it right here somewhere.
Yeah, I've got mine downstairs.
Oh,
got it.
How many would you base to a 60 by 40? Then 6 figures.
Well, the way
60 by 40, I do 6.
Yeah. Basically, I'm doing 40 by 40s with 4 figures on them, because that's as a French. That's a battalion in Black Powder is about 24 figures, and French companies were 6 companies per battalion, so that gives you 4 figures. So I'm doing it 4 grenadiers, 4 voltigeurs, and the rest fusiliers. And, that works quite nicely.
Where my sheet has gone.
And that's the next thing to make up is obviously you don't all you have it mixed, don't you? So you got grenadiers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know what goes with what then?
Well, it doesn't
matter too much.
If you're doing 24 men, I just make 4 of them as grenadiers, 4 of them as voltigeurs, and just do the rest as fusiliers. I'm not.
That's
really
what I did.
I did more grenadiers, and I just thought the grenadiers looked cool for the Italians, so I think I did about 9. I just thought it looked fun because I put them behind the fusiliers, like they were pushing them forwards, making them first.
Good plan.
Have you got any tips for painting Napoleonics? Then
gone again.
Yeah, I lost him again. It's the fight going on his road again. That's the trouble. They're firebombing the place. Everything. Tips on painting them. I think you just need to take it gently, take it easy. They're just no different. They're really no different to any other painting. It's just you got all the turnbacks and the collars, and what I recommend, Ken, is decide what you're going to do and just look up what the uniforms are like for that particular regiment. because the thing about Napoleonics and the thing you
because I've got to look at the register. I've got to look at the regiments. So because obviously I know British regiments. You know, I know a lot of British regiments. But
so if
French
you did,
is
I
like
don't know, say you did,
kettle of
I
fish.
don't know, the 15th French regiment, they'll have a particular colour. They'll have turnbacks a certain colour and sleeves one. You know, so it's just a way of, although they're all blue, you know, you'll know that the ones that have got red collars are a particular regiment, and the ones that are blue are another regiment, and it just gives you a little bit of variety. Also, it makes it a bit less boring when you're painting them, frankly.
Yeah.
And like Martin says, go for the Italians or the Dutch or whatever in the French army.
You can just chuck in different brigades. I'm going to do a brigade of Italians, a brigade of Dutch, and then just have it, you know, mixed in. So it's still broadly French. And Nick Games just says, do uniforms take a long... Black powder looks great, but do uniforms take a long time to paint?
No.
I think you should ask Steve, who's like looking down at the thing right
Steve knocks them out in about half an hour, doesn't he? I think he does. I'm sure that's what he said.
If you break it down, it's taken me 6 months to paint 14. But I did those 3 last week. I painted 3 in 2 days last week, so I'm getting the maths sorted. But these Fusiliers I'm working on, I'm going to paint these 6 at a time. And to be fair, I've not put any white on yet. But these have gone quite well. I've not swore yet.
These are my.
What's the easiest way to paint them? Would you say? Would you say if I airbrush them blue, and then just went over and picked the details
That would work.
If it's well, yeah, it depends. Yeah, the old guard that I did, I just rattle canned them blue. Then it was a blue wash. Then I picked up the details. Then when everything is done, Nuln oil. And then just highlighted a couple of bits, and that was it.
Yeah,
I could knock out a base in about 45 minutes for 6 of those.
Yeah, I mean these are my.
It's just a blue. It's a blue greatcoat, and that's it.
These are my Cleve guys, the Cleveberg guys, and literally they were like you're saying, Martin. I grey prime them like I would normally do. Sort of heavy dry brush them with white. Put a wash over it, then picked out the turnbacks and the collars and all that sort of thing in the colour. They got pale blue, and then highlighted the bits of white that I didn't want to look so dirty, and that was pretty much done. They didn't take long, really didn't.
But you base yours with 4 then?
Yeah.
Dom, you do yours with 6, mine, do you?
Yeah, I used to do them with 4 because I did them in 4. I did some 4s and some in 2s because that's the way that Warlord kind of showed it being done. And then I watched Pancake's channel, Nathan Payne, who's got some wicked stuff. He was one of the reasons I started making videos actually. He did 6s, and I looked at it and I just thought that's so much easier because like when we have the game, you'll see you just pick up these bases and there you go. They're in March column, then they're in 6s already. I don't have to kind of fit one extra base on the end, and they're in line. I can't think of a time where I've needed them to be on anything smaller, to be honest.
My only thing with it, I like the fact that with the 4s, I can now use them for sharp practice because a group in sharp practice is 8 figures. So 2 lots of 4 gives me the 8 figures I need for that. 4. So although they're multi-based, which isn't ideal for sharp practice, like you say, you can just mark them with a dice or a loop over them or something when they die. So that's why I've done them as 4s. And also because it was an easy way of doing the company size. Because I wanted to have 4 grenadiers, 4 Voltigers.
Go on, sorry.
So no, I was saying because I haven't played sharp. I'd like to play sharp practice, but because I haven't done that. I've just done them as 6s. Although, can I ask you your opinion? This might be a bit controversial. Although Steve might like this. So I've decided how I'm doing my Carthaginians for my Ancients October. I'm going to do about 12 to a base. I'm going to make big bases.
Interesting.
Ooh, I like that. I like the sound of that.
I'm going to base them for impetus.
Yeah.
And it's still totally usable in Hail Caesar. And from what I read of Infamy, because I've got the rule book, is all I've got to do is keep track of wounds if I do it the other way around.
Yeah.
So I know this figure. So, and I really like the idea of just do it like having like a line of guys and then maybe a couple of dead fellas. There's a bit of a gap in that line, and then bustling about. So
I think that would work really nicely.
12 or 13.
Yeah,
about 12 or 13 a base is what I'm going to try.
That would work really nicely.
We'll see.
Well,
the only thing it won't work for is Hage of Hannibal in Saga. That's the only thing.
I was going to say that's your one problem you're going to have with that, because it won't work with Saga. But
there is 60 figures in a box for that, so I could just.
Right, chat.
I'll make one and see how it comes out, and then if I don't like it, I'll go down to I'll do singles and then do Sabbath bases.
Yeah,
and then we'll see how it goes.
I think it's a good way of doing it. I really do, and especially for ancients, I think it's very effective. Paul Richardson's off. He said, "Thanks for chat, guys. He's off now. Stay safe." I think we all got to go off now. It's 10:10, and
yes, is it? Isn't it?
It's a school night.
Just one more question while we're on.
Go on then.
Yeah.
What? These box of Perry's cavalry, right? 12 guys. Why have I got 13 horses? Do I get an extra horse?
It's like the National. Maybe it just runs with them. And
yeah. Maybe just Alan likes you.
Get an extra model.
You might have got an extra one. They're done in twos, aren't they? Sometimes the pair. So
yeah,
maybe it's just a lot of effort to clip it.
Yeah, it's weird.
You just.
I think I've got the guide to go with it as well. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got the guide to go with it as well.
You've just got the golden ticket.
13 guys.
You've just got the golden ticket.
Oh, it's handy because I could use that one with the armour on as like a...
As the officer or something.
Yeah, commander, yeah.
Are you sure it says 12 on the box?
Yeah.
You sure?
12 miniatures.
It does say 12, it's quite right.
Yeah, if you got 13, yeah. That's a free commander right there. Get a couple of archers or men at arms, stick it on a base. That's a command stand.
Bingo.
I do. Right. Do you want me to do the roundup then?
Well, since you didn't bother to attend the beginning, you might as well do the finish.
Right, guys. I might not be in next week, so I'm on call. Martin, Ste, and Dom, I'm sure, will be back to keep you entertained as usual. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon on the Plastic Crack podcast. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.